Dogs are great, aren't they? You can teach them all sorts of things and they'll catch on real fast. The problem is most people think that once they've taught their dog a few basic things, there's no need to carry on. But your dog never stops learning, so training should be part of her everyday life. And that's where Masterpet's unique Clever Collar comes in. The first collar that actually helps train your dog. Designed by an experienced dog trainer, the Clever Collar acts as a gentle reminder of all the good behaviours your dog should be using. Look what happens when Copper pulls ahead. His Clever Collar tightens, but when he stops pulling, it loosens. So he learns there are consequences to his behaviour, and he learns it every time he goes for a walk. So his walks become a continual training session. Other collars, like choke chains, can injure and potentially strangle your dog, causing lifelong throat injuries. Look what happens when a choke chain isn't put on properly. Remember, even if you know how to use it, other people who walk your dog may not. The Clever Collar takes the basic principles of a choke chain but greatly improves on the benefits and safety. Where it's different is in the design. The Clever Collar incorporates the very latest in slip collar design, and it works like this. If your dog is in the correct position, the Clever Collar will hang comfortably round her neck. If she's in the wrong position, it tightens via the runner line. But unlike the choke chain, the Clever Collar never over-tightens, so it's much gentler on your dog. And because it's made from soft webbing material, it won't cut her fur. Now, choosing the right size is important. There are 3 sizes, so choose one that fits snugly around her neck, so it doesn't slip off. The collar does up here and may be loosened or tightened with this adjustable buckle. This is the runner line, which should be clipped down for everyday use and unclipped for when you're training your dog. Attach your leash onto this D-ring. Remember, the Clever Collar is suitable for most types of dogs, from large-sized, like Copper here, to medium dogs like these fellas, right up to really big dogs like Great Danes. You can even use it for training puppies. So how does this remarkable collar work? Let's have a look at some basic training techniques using the Clever Collar with the help of Copper, our clever Labrador. Let's start with a simple walk to heel exercise. Now, the objective of this exercise is to have your dog walk as close as possible to your left-hand side without him pulling ahead, walking wide or lagging behind. Now, don't worry if your dog is not walking to heel all the time. The Clever Collar never over-tightens, so if he does walk out to full lead, you won't be hurting him. Hold your dog via the runner line of the Clever Collar. Now hold a treat in your right hand over your left thigh, about waist height. The verbal command is heel as you step off with your left foot.
Heel.
Step forward at least 6 to 8 paces, then stop and reward your dog. Good boy, Copper. One of the most common problems with the heel command is lagging behind. Let's have a look at Poppy. Poppy has a tendency to lag behind, and that's where the Clever Collar works so well. It tightens as she lags back and loosens when she's in the right position, so she knows where she's going wrong. The Clever Collar reminds her what to do. When your dog lags behind, repeat the command heel, whilst holding her in the true position with your left hand on the runner line, coaxing her with the treat in your right hand. If she forges ahead, make sure the treat is not too far forward away from your dog. Simply repeat the heel command whilst holding the treat in your right hand closer to your left hip at hip height. Once again, the Clever Collar will remind her by tightening up if she's in the wrong position. Now let's try the sit command. Teaching your dog to sit is probably the easiest technique because it's a natural posture for dogs. It's also useful for reinforcing your leadership role in the relationship between you and your dog. Say the dog's name followed by sit.
Papa, sit.
At the same time, hold the runner line with your right hand and apply upward pressure, whilst pushing gently down on the base of the tail with your left hand. It's important not to squeeze too hard here, as that's where his kidneys are, and you don't want to hurt him. So what can you do if your dog doesn't respond? Let's have a look at Coco. If your dog is not responding, try using a treat. Place the treat between the thumb and forefinger of your right hand, holding the runner line with your left hand. Raise the treat above your dog's head at a 90-degree angle. As she looks up at the treat, give the command, sit.
Sit.
As soon as she sits, give her the treat. Well done, Coco. You deserve that. It's a good idea to give the sit command every time you stop, and your dog will soon realise that he must sit every time you stop. Remember, practice makes perfect, so try and use the sit command at least 3 times a day. Once your dog responds well to sit, he should have no problem mastering the stay command. The stay command teaches your dog self-control and discipline. It's also useful if there's a potential danger around, like a busy road. Start with your dog sitting. Place your left hand on the runner line. Once your dog gets more responsive to the command, you can slide your hand further up the lead. Give the command stay.
Stay.
And the hand signal. Using your right hand, bring your palm towards your dog, stopping in front of his eyes and nose. It's the same as if you were telling a human to stop, but instead you say the word stay.
Stay.
Step forward with your right foot, turning to face your dog. Stand still for a count of 5 seconds. Then, repeating the word stay, step back to your dog.
Good boy.
Now don't leave him staying for too long to start with, and don't move away too far or he'll get anxious. Start by letting him stay for 5 seconds and gradually build up the time and the distance you move away from him. If your dog breaks from the stay command, go back to restraining him in the stay position with the clever collar until he's comfortable, and only then release the collar pressure. Remember, use your clever collar to help reinforce your commands. The other thing that really helps is the tone of your voice. Your tone should represent the command. So, for example, if you wanted your dog to drop, you should say drop with a downward inflection.
Drop.
Let's have a look at how Copper performs the drop command. The objective is to have your dog drop to the ground from the sit position. Crouch down to your dog's eye level, run a line in your left hand and a treat in your right hand. Let him see the treat as you raise it above his head,
Drop.
Then sweep your hand to the ground and out front.
Good boy.
Say drop with that downward inflection we were talking about,
Drop.
and at the same time apply light pressure via the runner line, using the treat as a teaser. Once down, give the treat and quietly praise.
Good boy.
While he's eating, give the command stay.
Stay.
And stay beside him without standing up. Now make sure you apply that pressure with the runner line, otherwise your dog may make the common mistake of only going halfway down. If he rolls over, which is another common mistake, make sure he's sitting squarely before you start and not sitting back on his haunches. Now the last technique I want to show you is probably the most useful, particularly when your dog is off the lead, and that's the recall or come command. The idea is to get your dog to come on command and sit in front of you. With the runner line of the clever collar in your left hand, treat in your right, place the treat over your left hip, slightly above your dog's head height. Step forward, right hand fixed at your left side, say his name followed by come.
Copper, come.
Then start stepping back whilst moving your treat hand to the centre of your body. Make sure you say the command loud enough for your dog to hear, and that you hold the runner line of the clever collar firmly enough to be able to control your dog. Well, that's it for today. As you can see, the clever collar is really simple to use. As long as you choose the right size and it's fitted correctly, anyone can use it. We've learned a few of the basic training tips. Walk to heel, sit, sit and stay, drop and come. Make sure you practice them every day at least 5 times each, and you and your dog will have so much more fun together. Remember, the clever collar can be worn all the time, so you don't even have to change collars when you go for a walk. You just slip on the lead. Now that's clever.